My one-upper best friend's becoming a dad at the same time as me. And I hate it. I feel like a terrible person for feeling that way. I hate everything about it, and it makes me a very bad friend. Here is some context. My friend and I always had the same interests in many things. He also always had a financial situation better than mine, and loves to have nice things. This creates situations where whenever I have something, he has the better one. Like, for example, I just bought a good computer, a couple of months later, he shows up with a better one. A nice great camera with a nice lens? He'll get the newer, more advanced one. Anything I'll have, he'll have it too, but just better. I don't want to believe he does it on purpose, we just have the same interests, and he has more money, so it does just make sense. Anyway, this became a running joke between my wife and I for a long time. I was having a successful relationship with her, and he was struggling to keep a girlfriend. So when he finally found the one, 10 months ago, we joked about it because she was a single mom with a 5-year-old daughter. So we joked that okay, he had to one-up you on this as well, you're married to me, so he had to find someone that would push him to the next step immediately. And so that was the joke for everything, and it was just a joke. When we decided to try for a baby, we joked about it too, you'll see that when I'm pregnant, he'll show up with twins. Well, you read the title. When I knew I was going to be a dad, I was very excited and I told him the news. I was feeling great about it, I was thinking this would be an amazing moment. He and his girlfriend asked questions, she gave us advice, and they were great. And at some point, well, he or she is going to have a friend, I guess. And now I hate myself for the following, I was crushed inside. It was no longer a special announcement, it became another thing we'd have in common. I stayed polite and played along, but I was not happy at all about it. They didn't plan to do it. They didn't do it just because we wanted one. It just happened. And yet I have this feeling that it's exactly what happened. He went into his 30s with no stable relationship, met someone just to move in with her kid 3 months later, then had a kid with her, not even a year into their relationship. I hate every single word that I wrote in this post. Since he announced the news to me, I don't want to speak about it at all with him, I barely want to talk to him, and I'm just focusing on my wife and my future kid. I put all my energy into her. I just don't have anyone to share my joy with now, and it's my fault. Now, he comes up to me telling me everything he plans, the shopping he's going to do for the baby, the doctor's appointments, and I don't want to tell what I'm doing or what we're planning because that's going to be something he'll compare and comment about. Just yesterday, he told me that it looked like I didn't care about the first ultrasound appointment just because I said that I cared more about knowing that the baby is okay than seeing the pictures, because I don't think I'll be able to understand what I'll be seeing anyway. I took it very wrong and blocked him. Edit, reading through the comments here really helped me to get back to reality. I'm going to have a kid, for fuck's sake. One of the best pieces of advice I've read here was that I do not have a do-over on this one. This is my one and only time that I'm going to have a first kid, and I'm totally ruining my experience with those thoughts. I'll speak to my therapist for sure, but you guys have already helped me a lot. Thanks. Commenter. Comparison is the thief of joy. You've got a wife and you're going to be a dad. Why are you bothering with this? Commenter. I mean, if you want to test the theory, you could always tell him you and your wife are separating because you got yourself a hot young GF and see what he does. I am very obviously kidding. For real, though, your life is going to change so much with this baby, and I think that you'll actually come to appreciate that you'll have someone you can share the experience with, aside from your wife, obviously, who will know what you're going through and can offer advice or just an ear when things get difficult. As for your issues, I can only beg you to focus on the joy in your own life and stop looking at his. Focus on your family, your happiness. Constantly comparing with him will only destroy you, and I guarantee he doesn't give it any thought. Just focus on being the best husband, father, and version of yourself you can be, and you won't even have time to think about him. Update, 1 day later. Yesterday, I made a post about how I was feeling like a terrible person for not being happy for my friend having a kid at the same time as me. The TLDR of this post is that I always had the, probably false, impression that he was trying to one-up me on everything, and even though I knew this was probably not the case here, something inside me screamed that this was the final straw. Commenters helped me a lot to bring me back to reality. Judgments were made about me, some were wrong, but most of them were true. I already planned to take an appointment with my therapist before posting, but I took it right after. In the meantime, I couldn't speak to my friend about it because I feel too ashamed of my behavior, and maybe some things are better left unsaid. However, I did apologize to him for my recent behavior. Other events had occurred that made me cold towards him, and I explained myself. He appreciated my apologies a lot, me acknowledging that I wasn't a good friend. I spoke to my wife about it, and she was very supportive. I told her basically what you guys told me, that I was going to have a kid, that I didn't have a do-over on this one and that I didn't want to completely miss the moment just because my mind was not in the right place. I told her that I booked an appointment with a therapist in order to refocus on our kid, and she appreciated this. Even though she wasn't as brutal as you, she agreed with all of your advice, she didn't see the post, I just told her the lessons I learned from it. Also, yesterday, something very important happened. The first ultrasound appointment. This was incredible. Beforehand, I was not especially excited about it because I had a misconception of what it would be. I thought I was just going to see a few still pictures of the embryo that I wouldn't be able to understand because I thought it'd be 3 blurry pixels in front of a noisy background. However, this was much more than this. This was a live video of those 3 blurry pixels, where the doctor could explore in 3 dimensions. I saw it alive, I saw his heart beating, we measured it, and we heard his heart. What can I say? Nothing else matters now. I don't care about my friend's actions. My baby is in good shape, my wife is healthy, and that's all that matters. He's the only thing in my mind now, after the echography. I'll still go to my therapist, but the heartbeat I saw and heard yesterday has already accomplished so many things. Thanks for those many quotes that I'll remember. Sometimes we are not the best people in the room, but we can try to be better. Commenter. First off, you need to have an unbearable need to be the funniest person in the room. You are going to need to go to Google and look up dad jokes. It's practically the law. Congratulations to you both.